back to it. Let's go. Let's go. We are working, right? Yes, we are. Good. Let's go. Alright, let's head back to the party camp. In fact, we'll level people up whilst we're here. We need more strength with Sten. And there we go. We need more willpower. Oh, we can just choose one of these. No, I don't want to. I'd like to do Templar, I think. I might want Reaver, you know. Yeah, I think I will have Reaver. When we get to it. Need to be level 12 for this one, so we'll go with Threaten, I guess. Threaten will be quite good for Royce, because I don't know why, but he doesn't tend to go down anywhere near as quickly as, say, Sten does. Sten tends to hit the deck remarkably quickly for a guy of his size and power, you know what I mean?
Where are the items from the treasury? Do we have them yet?
They're in the chest, my lord. That's all there was.
Back away slowly. We may have robbed them earlier. How do we get out of here? So they're in here.
What do you need?
Here it is.
Put your back into it. Do you think you're swinging a broom?
Right, finally back at camp.
Oh, look at what your fool dog placed in my pack. A putrid, half-eaten hare is not something a woman wants to find in her unmentionables.
Can't be stinkier than what normally goes into them.
I am going to pretend I never heard that. The dirty mongrel can have this back. There. And tell him not to do it again.
It was a gift. You can't just throw it away like that.
I just did. I don't want it, you worthless fur bag.
That dog is too smart for his own good.
He is certainly manipulative, I can tell. I do it too.
Couldn't resist saying that to her.
Here I am.
Can you answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
What does it take to become an assassin?
Well, the Crows would have you believe that it is an involved process that takes years of training. The sort that tests both your resolve and your endurance. Survive that process and maybe, just maybe, you're good enough to start being considered one of them. But quite frankly, the truth is that all it requires is the desire to kill people for a living. It's surprising how well one can do in such a field.
The amazing thing about this voice actor, I'm pretty sure he's the Inquisitor in Dragon Age Inquisition, if you choose the deeper American voice. Right? Or is he the English one? I can't remember. I think he might be the English one. Yeah, I think he is the English one. Yeah. Still a very good voice actor, though, because you couldn't tell. You did quite well, no doubt.
Within the Crows, I did. But it has been something the Crows have devoted a great deal of time to perfecting. An assassin simply specializes in striking from stealth, and in maximizing that first attack to be as lethal as possible. Debilitate your foe, either by poison or by crippling their limbs, makes any follow-up combat you need to engage in that much simpler.
Sounds like it could be useful.
See? Getting paid for the act is beside the point. An assassin is more a tactical choice than a lifestyle. Of course, the Crows like to pretend that their abilities are trade secrets, shrouded in shadows and wrapped in a blanket of mystery. So let's just keep this between you and me, shall we? Hmm?
Okay.
What do you need?
I'd like to ask something.
Ask away.
Can you teach others to become a Templar?
I suppose I could. But I really would rather not. When the Grand Cleric let Duncan recruit me, she made me swear never to reveal Templar secrets outside of the Chantry. I'd rather not go back on my word.
You don't think this is important?
Of course I do. It's just... I don't think you necessarily need Templar secrets to defeat the Darkspawn. Ask me later, perhaps. Maybe I'll change my mind. This is not something small you're asking, after all. What do you need? Ask away.
Why did you keep your birthright a secret?
You never asked?
That's a cheap answer.
All right. If you want the full explanation, I'll give it to you. The thing is, I'm used to not telling anyone who didn't already know. It was always a secret. Even Duncan was the only Grey Warden who knew. And then, after the battle, when I should have told you... I don't know, it seemed like it was too late by then. How do you just tell someone that?
How about, by the way, I'm heir to the throne?
Yes, well, I suppose part of me kind of liked you not knowing.
Why? What happens when people find out?
They treat me differently. I become the bastard prince to them, instead of just Alistair. I know that must sound stupid to you, but I hate that it shaped my entire life. I never wanted it, and I certainly don't want to be king. The very idea of it terrifies me.
That doesn't sound stupid. I wouldn't want to be king either.
For all the good it does me, my blood seems certain to haunt me no matter what I do. And now Arleman plans to put me forward as the heir. It never ends, does it? And for what it's worth, I'm sorry for not telling you sooner. It was a dumb thing to do.
Don't worry about it, no harm done.
I guess it's kind of a relief that you know now. Let's go.
Yes? Something you need?
Let's talk about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
Why did you decide to come for Ferelden?
My mother was from Denerim, and I consider myself a Ferelden. Mother served an Orlesian noblewoman who lived here when Orlais ruled. When Orlais was defeated, and the common folk began to resent the presence of any Orlesian, the lady returned to Orlais. She took my mother with her. I was born in Orlais, and did not set foot in Ferelden till much later. Mother was always telling me stories of her homeland. I think she missed it.
What happened to her?
Mother died when I was very young. Lady Cecily let me stay with her. I had no one else. She was quite old then, and she had me study music and dance to entertain her. It is unfair that I have more memories of Cecily than my mother.
You remember nothing of her?
Strangely, the only thing I really remember of Mother was her scent. She kept dried flowers in her closet amongst her clothes. Small white Ferelden wildflowers with a sweet fragrance. Mother called them Andrastis Grace. They were very rare in Orlais. But enough about that. Let us move on.
Dude, you just don't get any...
You are not quite as callow as I thought. That is,
unexpected.
You, well, thanks, I guess.
You're welcome.
So, will you tell me now why you were caged?
I caged myself. A weak mind is a deadly foe, as you are no doubt aware.
Exactly what happened?
I came to your lands with 7 of the Beresad, my brothers, to seek answers about the Blight. We made our way across the Ferelden countryside without incident, seeing nothing of the threat we were sent to observe. Until the night we camped by Lake Calenhad. They came from everywhere. The earth beneath our feet, the air above us. Our own shadows harbored the Darkspawn. I saw the last of the creatures cut down, too late. I fell.
That sounds like what happened to me at Ostagar.
I heard the stories of Ostagar. Your kith stood their ground when others fled. No one can do more than that. I don't know how long I lay on the battlefield among the dead, nor do I know how the farmers found me. I only know that when I woke I was no longer among my brothers, and my sword was gone from my hand.
You probably dropped it on the battlefield.
Perhaps. I searched for it, and when that failed I asked my rescuers what had become of it.
Did the farmers know where it was?
They said they found me with nothing.
Did you believe them?
I did. I knew they didn't have the blade. They had no reason to lie to me. I panicked. Unthinking, I struck them down.
You panicked over a lost blade?
That sword was made for my hand alone. I have carried it from the day I was set into the Beresad. I was to die wielding it for my people. Even if I could cross Ferelden and Tevinter unarmed and alone to bring my report to the Arishok, I would be slain on sight by the Antam. They would know me as soulless, a deserter. No soldier would cast aside his blade while he drew breath.
Couldn't you search for it?
If I knew where to look, it would be in my hand now.
Where did you fight the Darkspawn?
Near Lake Calenhad.
Don't worry, we'll find it.
Perhaps those words are empty, but thank you all the same.
What's with the heavy sighs?
Oh, that. Merely reflecting on the hopeless nature of the task in front of it. The most likely outcome is that it and its companions will become a stain on some rock for the Darkspawn to tread upon. I shall be moved to a single tear by the tragedy.
Won't we be right next to your stain?
I think not. I am made of pure rock, skin to core. At best, I can become a pile of dust, but a smear I will definitely not leave behind. That's for softer, squishier things like itself and its friends. What's that? Did it hear flapping wings? There may be pigeons nearby. We should be alert.
Wonder if I can attach one of those things to her. Oh yeah. Cool.
I see it found some augmentation crystals. I was not even aware it knew about them. Well done. So, what does it think? They don't make me look any wider, do they? I find I'm already too wide as it is.
No. They're quite slimming.
It must be the vertical pattern it put them in. Did it know to do that? It must have. I think it should find some more as soon as possible. I want to glitter from ear to ear, so to speak.
Yes?
I'd like to ask you something.
So, Full of questions, are you?
Have you ever been hunted by the Chantry?
You are very cute to ask so many questions.
So are you when you're being evasive?
Really? Perhaps we should be wrapped in ribbons and adorned with flowers. So cute are we, too. My mother has been hunted from time to time, yes, by Templar fools like Alistair, which should tell you how successful they generally were. Flemeth made a bit of a game of it, in fact. The Templars would come again, and she would look at me and smile and say that the fun was to begin once more.
You really had no trouble with them?
I am unsure. I was too young to understand, and perhaps 'twas bravado on Flemeth's part, or perhaps she was merely amused. I will never know. Flemeth would warn them once. 'Twas a warning they inevitably failed to heed. And then the true game began. Often Flemeth would use me as bait. A little girl to scream and run and lure the Templars deeper into the wilds and to their doom.
Surely more would have followed.
Sometimes. Eventually. Thankfully, the wilds is a vast place. Once they found us, Flemeth would simply move us elsewhere and we would be lost within the forest once again. I did not understand the danger we faced until I was much older. I had never heard of apostates or maleficarum.
To be fair, I'm going to say number 4. Do you know why? You can see how far into the forest they were living. Like, why would you pursue like people back to a hut? You know what I mean? Like these knights have nothing better to do.
Perhaps they did. Still, I do not begrudge them doing what they believe is necessary. The Chantry sees any mages not leashed to the Circle of Magi as apostates. And apostates could become maleficarum, evil mages that resort to blood magic and become demon-enslaved abominations. It may even be true. Still, those of us who prefer freedom see no reason to submit.
If I were a mage, I might think the same.
Thank you for small favors, then, at the very least. Enough of this talk. Let us return to the task at hand.
You're a hard man to find. Where are my manners? The name is Levy Dryden. Did Duncan ever mention me? Levy of the coins? Levy the trader?
You know Duncan?
Oh, yes, for years. Considered him a friend, I did. But here I am carrying on while you have a blight to stop. Don't want to waste your time. But you see, Duncan promised that together we'd look into something important for the Wardens. And for me. But poor Duncan's... well, no more. A tragedy it is, at that. But I know he would want his work carried on. His pledge fulfilled.
What promise did he make you?
Well, as you know, my family's name is mud around noble circles. My great-great-grandmother, Sophia Dryden, was the last Warden Commander of Ferelden back when the Wardens were known as freeloaders. So King Arland banished the Wardens, and he took House Dryden's land and titles.
A bit drastic, isn't it?
And then some. Not much is known about that time. After King Arland died, there was a civil war, loads worse than this one. And our family was on the run, hunted by enemies, with nary a friend in the world. But Drydens are tough. We rebuilt, became merchants, and we never lost our pride.
So what favour did you ask of Duncan?
I asked for the truth. My family reveres Sophia Dryden. We know she died at the old Grey Warden base, Soldier's Peak. We want evidence to clear her name. It won't restore our land or our titles, but it'll restore our honour.
Can't you just go there by yourself?
Well, no one's been to Soldier's Peak since Arland's days. At least none that's come back. I spent years mapping the maze of tunnels to the peak, and I found the way a few years back. So I went to Duncan, I did, and I said that he could reclaim the old base and my family could have its honour.
How will reclaiming this peak help the Wardens?
Soldier's Peak is strategic and symbolic importance. Duncan said that it would be worth it right there. He also hoped to recover lost Warden history and perhaps a few old relics. No one knows what's up there now.
What do you need from me?
I can pick my way through the tunnels at the base of Soldier's Peak, but the place, well, they say it's haunted, and it'll be dangerous for certain. Will you think on it at least?
Why didn't Duncan help you?
Darkspawn surfaced in southern Ferelden, and Duncan got plenty busy recruiting new Wardens and meeting with good King Cailan. Duncan said he would help after the Battle of Ostagar. Said there might be useful things at the peak, but he never had the chance.
Let's go there.
1,000 blessings upon you, Warden. I'll mark down the location on your map. When you arrive, we'll pick our way through the tunnels together.
Now that is a home base where we don't need to be in this place anymore. So that'll be good.
Yes.
Yes.
Indeed.
And there it is. Right by Highever as well, that's good.
And here we are. Soldier's Peak. Maker's breath. Look at the size of her. What a fortress. I told you the map would get us through the tunnels.
Just admit it, you lost a few times.
I wasn't lost, it's just that the map got soggy. Bah! We're here. So, I'll follow you about, from a distance. This place has the stench of death. I expect there's trouble up ahead.
Maybe.
Soldier's Peak. Looks like it's seen better days. Better centuries, more like.
Once the Wardens flourished, their ranks full, their caliber certain. Now they even accept people like you, Alistair.
Hey!
Fall back! Fall back already!
Taking the peak will not be easy, my lord.
I gave the Wardens one chance to die with honor. Instead, they hole up like cowards. We follow the King's advice, then. Starve them out.
But the peak has months of supplies.
Then we wait. When they are too weak to lift their weapons, we will send them to their final judgment.
What was that? Felt a bit woozy there. I'm not mad, am I? You saw it too?
Yes, I saw it too.
How's that possible? This place truly is haunted.
The world is full of mysteries.
Yes, Warden.
Well, this fortress will be mine. Oh, yes.
Looks like something wants to die.
of blood. Bad day, huh?
There's more down here.
The men's morale is low. My spells are of no use in this matter, Commander.
There is more to leading men than sorcery, Avernus. I will remind them that they're wardens. Men, I won't lie to you. The situation is grim. Our forces outnumbered, our bellies empty, and our hearts are sagging. But we are wardens! Darkspawn flee when they hear our horns. Archdemons die when they taste our blades. So are we to bend knee to a mere human despot? No! I, for one, will never give up! I, for one, will never surrender just to dance on Arlen's gallows. So I propose here and now, in these hallowed halls where generations of our brethren stood vigil against darkspawn and evil, that we send a message to that fat bastard. In this sacred place, proud men, strong men stood defiant, and would rather die than submit to tyranny.
So brave, even when starving, and my great-great-grandmother stood with them.
King Arlen was a tyrant?
Not much is known of King Arland. The War of Succession that followed his death, now that was a piece of work. Lasted nearly a decade, and almost burned Denerim and the palace to the ground. Loads of history was lost, but maybe there's answers to that inside. But I've gabbed enough. Lead on, my friend.
I think these are all names of either people who are on the team or Easter eggs. Jason Sansley Argonaut, like, you know, Jason and the Argonauts there. Sir Graham the Untiring. Well, Sir is spelt wrong for this setting. Do you know what I mean? We're outside again.
Got it.
Wonder if he could have. No, there's nothing really here for him. Okay.
Got it.
Make them pay for every inch, men! Hold the flank! Avernus, we need you!
Andraste's blood! What?
More Avernus! Whatever it takes! Press them! Press them now!
No! I command you, fight the king's men!
So much death, suffering, and oh yes, blood. The veil is torn now. Your soul is mine, Avernus.
Acolytes, retreat now! The battle is lost!
Avernus!
What just happened? Oh no, more fighting.
Really? Oh.
The wardens summoned demons. Can't believe it. And my grandmother, she knew.
Wardens don't forbid blood magic. Anything it takes to win.
I believed that my family was better than that. But answers may lay up ahead.
Why can't you stay?
Step no further! Get this annoyance away from me! This one would speak with you.
The Mabari smarter than you, demon. Die.
Fool!
Yay! We like this. Okay. I should have. Do you know what? I'll give these to people now. Now that we get nice little bunts from them.
I could get used to this, you know.
You have my thanks. You have my thanks.
Okay.
Interesting. Interesting.
That should give us enough, right? Right, so you want Warden Commander gloves. Okay. Let's take all of that, it's fine.
All right, all right.
I can't wear that yet, can I? No, we need 26 strength. Okay.
Got it. Stay in the ground.
An old vial contains a noxious potion, and no one can say how long it's sat on the table. Drink the vial's contents. Balls to it, let's do it. Pain wraps your body, but there is power in this pain, and a hint of understanding. And I think that allows us to do a new... Oh, I thought it did. Okay.
I hear you. Don't disrupt my concentration. Even now, the demons seek to replenish their numbers. Are you to thank for this welcomed but temporary imbalance?
The old warden mage is still alive?
Only just. I have only a short time left. Why are you here? What is your intent?
I'm here to recover the warden's base.
An admirable goal. But in order to achieve this, the demons must be cut off forever.
Yeah, I agree.
Agreed. This must be the first priority. The only priority.
I've seen your experiments.
They were necessary. Any tool, any iota of information that could defeat the fell demons was justified. As a warden, you should know that.
Necessary. Having to relieve yourself after an 8-hour ride is necessary. But there's no excuse for summoning demons.
Charming.
How do you know I'm a warden?
A combination of my research and blood magic. But even without that, who else would brave Soldier's Peak?
I want some answers.
To what questions, I wonder? Ask.
How have you survived all these years?
The Chantry foolishly forbids blood magic. But there are so many secrets to uncover. As my body decayed, I found ways to extend it. But that can only go so far.
Alright, Sophia's great-grandson brought me here. Levy, go ahead.
Master Mage, sir, my family name has been worth less than dirt for over a century. Do you have any proof that Sophia was a hero?
The boy who braved the mists. So you heeded my call. And you are a Dryden. The cosmos has a sense of humor.
Your call?
He was but a boy when he entered the tunnels below the peak. His heart pure, his character certain. In dreams, I gave him the keys he would need. He would be my deliverance.
Just answer his question, please.
Your great-great-grandmother was the best of us. Brave, charismatic, fiery, utterly devoted to the fight. But still we lost. We fought against a tyrant, you know, so full of vigor then, so blind to consequence. But proof? There's none to be had.
I'm sorry, Levi.
I had hoped. But thank you, Warden.
What was the purpose of your experiments?
To stop the demonic tide, to correct the miscalculations of the past. Blood magic comes from demons. They could counter every bit of law I knew. But the Darkspawn taint, that is alien to them. And it has power.
What power?
The Wardens use it merely to sense Darkspawn. A triviality. My research has discovered so much more. Hinted at even greater heights. This knowledge could not only save Soldier's Peak, with it, the Wardens could grow even more powerful.
Can you teach me what you've learned?
No, search my labs. The answers are in there.
Alright, time for questions is over.
So be it. My only request, if justice or vengeance drive you, stay your hand until the demons are dealt with.
Until the demons are dead, we're allies.
That will do for now. We must go to the Great Hall. There, I will repair the damage I caused so long ago. There will be peril. The demons will fight us every step of the way. Come.
Okay, you said the answers are in here, right? Whoa, what the hell? Seeing any answers, I'm just seeing icicles and things.
Can I get you a ladder so you can get off my back?
Huh. Clinical handwriting.
Day
okay.
32. The subject is not responding to the stimuli. Testing the pain threshold has uncovered nothing. Only 3 subjects are left. Day 82. If only I could reproduce last night's extraordinary success. Electricity is only a catalyst. The blood is the key. Day 97. Energy and blood. Repeated applications have duplicated the results. I conjecture that success can be induced alchemically. But there are no more subjects left. If only I had 1 more, or a dozen. The things I could do. We must act quickly. The demons are clawing on the gates. The veil must be closed.
Ready when you are.
I will unravel the summoning circles I drew so long ago. Waves of spirits and demons may come through. Dispatch them. I will begin. First, I must summon the magical energies. I feel them. They're coming.
Where? There we go. Thought there was going to be more than that.
Now's better than later.
It's over. The veil is strong now. Stronger, at least. So what of me? Will you leave me to experiment in peace?
No more dark research. Find humane ways to help the Wardens.
Without test subjects, without other materials, you would cripple my efforts. But I will do what I can in this endeavor. I have little hope of discovering anything useful. But if I do, you will hear of it.
You've done it, Warden. Soldier's Peak is safe again. That old geezer Avernus deserves the gallows if you ask me, but people will do queer things to survive. But if he does the proper research, without the sacrifices and blood magic and all, maybe he'll turn up something good. But there was no proof to redeem my family.
The past won't offer you redemption. Try the future instead, then.
For so long, I was focused on the past, on answers. But I think I would have been better off had I stayed at home. Enough of that, though. I find myself at a loss. You've got a whole fortress now. I suppose I should start plying my trade again.
Any chance I could convince you to stay on?
You know I'm no good in a fight, but I'm a fair trader if I do say so myself. My cousins have been looking for a safe place to store trade goods, and the peak will do nicely. Whatever the Drydens have to offer are yours, for a sizable discount.
Looks like we're done here. A demonic invasion thwarted, a warden base safely rescued. We do good work.
So, we've got a peak, which is great. We've got a castle now. Saying that, it will be good to come back here eventually. So what you said to Levi there, I quite like that, because it shows that he's... remember what Sten said to him about that story about the Ashkari and in the desert? Well, it shows that Royce is starting to come around to that way of thinking, you know what I mean? He's like, well, don't look at the past then. Solve your issue. You know, look to the future instead.
Now you die.
Okay, we'll leave that. Leave that too. We just wanted to get rid of the demons, basically. No one's going to move in just yet. Alright. Time to sell some stuff. If we can. Chainmail, heavy plate armor. Wow. Okay, we're gonna need to get him some. Go. No, it's not as good.
Enchantment?
You and your friends are formidable folk, indeed. It's good to have you along on the road.
Let's see your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased with the goods my boy and I have collected, and with your discount.
Alright, let's get rid of some stuff. Don't need the axe. We don't need Faith's Edge, even though I like it, or that one. Don't need Spellweaver either, unfortunately. Keep that. Rid of those. Okay. Right, okay. Made a lot of money there, and we got some space, which is good. Now, the remainder of these... I think you want that.
That's a wonderful thought. I don't know...
You can have that.
Interesting.
That's all we've got, I think. Alright.
Enchantment? Enchantment!
Okay. Grandmaster Flame Rune, okay. Very nice.
Yes?
Yeah, we haven't got a personal question.
We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any.
We need to discuss us, what?
Yes? So, full of questions, are you?
Is Flemeth really what she seems to be?
Well, that depends, does it not? What does she seem to be?
A nutty old bat.
Sometimes I do wonder the very same thing. Tell me, how much do you know of the tale? The one that the chastened still tell of my mother, to frighten them into obedience.
I'm more interested in the truth.
I can relay what Flemeth once told me herself, and you can decide whether or not 'tis the truth, if you desire.
That sounds interesting.
As the tale is sung by the bards, there was a time when Flemeth was young and beautiful, a fair lass in a land of barbarian men, the desire of any who saw her.
Just how long ago was this?
Many centuries, before this land was even named Ferelden. The tales say that Flemeth fell in love with Osen the Bard, and fled the castle of her husband, the dread Lord Conobar, and that he swore vengeance for her infidelity. In truth, my mother claims that 'twas Osen who was her husband, and Conobar the jealous lord who looked on from afar. Lord Conobar approached young Osen and offered him wealth and power in exchange for his lovely wife, and Osen agreed.
He sold his wife to another man?
The life of a bard is a poor one, and love fades in the wake of hunger. 'Twas Flemeth who suggested the arrangement. All would have been well had Lord Conobar kept his end of the bargain. But he was a foul man who bargained with coin he did not possess. Osen was led off to a field and slain, left for dead. Flemeth spoke to the spirits and learned of the deed, and swore revenge.
So she truly loved Osen then?
That was not the point. Conobar had no honor, so she would not have him. Flemeth begged the spirits to aid her, and 'twas they who slew Conobar. The demon the legend tells of came later. Lord Conobar's allies chased Flemeth, you see. Chased her to the wilds, and there she hid. There she found the demon, and he made her strong. The legends all speak of the great hero Cormac, he who defeated Flemeth and her great army when she invaded the lowlands centuries later. all lies.
That she never invaded, or that you never defeated her?
The truth of the matter is that there was never an invasion. As Flemeth tells it, the Chastened never raised an army under her banner, and she never fought with any warrior named Cormac. Cormac led a brutal civil war against his own people, and later claimed it was to vanquish evil that had taken root amongst the lords. Thus, he was hailed a hero. Flemeth was only attached to the legend much later. Perhaps 'twas due to the great war with the Chastened that eventually came, but Mother claims not to know how it began.
How is it that she survived all this time?
The demon within her has transformed her into something else. An abomination, perhaps some would say. I know not. I only know my mother is clever, and she is part of the wilds as it is part of her. But she is no immortal. She bleeds. A blade in her heart would kill her like any other, were it lucky enough to find her.
Do you believe in her version?
I do not believe everything that Flemeth claims. Oft it seems her bitterness has colored her memories. But on the whole, yes, I believe this tale, if not all.
The legend tells of Flemeth having many daughters.
You ask if I have sisters. I have asked of this myself. The stories tell of many witches of the wilds after all, not just the one. And these tales existed long before I did. Flemeth refuses to speak of other daughters, if they existed. So, should I believe I am her first? I doubt that too.
Why would she refuse to speak of them?
The Chastened tell of a falling out between Flemeth and her daughters. They say that one day she hunted them all through the wilds and ate their hearts. It may be true. I have never seen another witch or heard of one. Perhaps one day Flemeth will eat my heart as well.
Interesting story, thank you.
Flemeth tells it with far more embellishment than I, but you are welcome. Dare I ask of your own mother? Few are abominations of legend, 'tis true, but I find myself curious nevertheless.
She died, quite recently in fact.
Ah, then you have my sympathies for what it is worth. Which is very little, I am certain. It matters not. Let us move on.
Fair enough. We need to get you some boots, don't we?
You called.
I want to discuss something you mentioned.
Speak, then.
What was that about children?
What were they doing? It did not look like it served any purpose.
They were playing.
That word means nothing to me.
What do Canary children do then if they don't play?
They study.
They must play sometimes.
Why?
Well, good question.
Your priests clearly should have spent more time training you.
Parents teach children to be adults, not priests.
Parents? Are you speaking nonsense on purpose? If you insist on speaking, use real words.
Wait, what do Canary call people with children, then?
Tamasrans. But the Emekari are not theirs. They belong to the Kunari, not the priesthood.
So they're raised by priests, but they belong to everybody?
Yes. Can we move on?
Sure.
As you wish.
He loves me.
What do you need? Ask away.
So... why have you remained a Templar if you hate the Chantry?
Have you seen the uniform? It's not only stylish, but well made. I'm a sucker for good tailoring.
Oh, don't think I've ever seen you wearing it.
I keep it hidden under my pillow. Sometimes I'll take it out just so I can hug it fondly and remember the good old days. Brings a tear to the eyes, you know.
Do all Templars make these jokes, or is it just you?
Oh, you know, between all the guilt and the hours spent in solemn prayer, any good Templar or priest is just bursting to tell a few good jokes when the opportunity arises. You don't really want to know about my being a Templar, do you? It's really quite boring.
I do really want to know, yes.
Poke, poke, poke. Tell me everything about your life, Alistair. All right, if you insist. It's not like we have anything better to do, right? The truth of the matter is that I did hate going to the monastery. The initiates from poor families thought I put on airs, while the noble ones called me a bastard and ignored me. I felt like Al Eamon had cast me off, unwanted, and I was determined to be bitter. But I took some solace in the training itself, I guess. I was actually quite good at it.
What did you enjoy about it?
The education, mostly, but also the discipline. You need to have a disciplined mind in order to use the abilities we have. It was difficult, but rewarding. I never really felt at home anywhere, though, until I joined the Grey Wardens. And Duncan felt my Templar abilities might be useful for when we encountered Darkspawn magic, so I kept it up. What about you? Do you have anywhere you consider home?
No, my home was taken over by Al Hal.
Right. Stupid of me to ask. I'm sorry. We won't always be traveling like this, you know. Once the war is over, once the Blight is... well, a time will come when we'll have to think about having a real home again. Although that seems like a far ways off. And I suppose the Grey Wardens are gone for good. Either way.
No, they're not. They can be rebuilt.
I suppose you're right. We can create new Grey Wardens, but we'll never get back those we lost. I wonder if it would ever feel the same. Anyhow, now I've sidetracked us. We'd better get back to what we're supposed to be doing right now.
How did he not like that? Like, Alistair's really hard to, like, talk to, man. Like, all of those things he should have liked. Like, and I was role-playing it, like, that's what Royce would say, but...
Yes? Something you need?
I'd like to talk to you about something.
Yes? What's on your mind?
I've heard that in Orlais, minstrels are often spies, yes?
Where did you hear this?
I read it in a history book.
And did you not think that this could be historical fact and no longer true? Not all minstrels are spies. Most are just singers and storytellers, but some of them are what we call bards.
And the bards are the spies.
Bards are minstrels and more. Spies, as you say. Some say there is a bard order, but I don't think this is true. Many bards work alone or in small groups, doing the bidding of a patron who pays for their services. If there is an organization behind it all, no one knows who they are.
Does the monarchy not govern them?
The Empress must have her own bards at her disposal, I suppose, but many are more self-serving. In Orlais, there is much rivalry amongst the highborn. They fight over land, influence, and the favor of the Empress. But they cannot do this openly because it is impolite, and in public, they wear smiling faces and pretend to be civil. In secret, they plot and scheme to destroy each other. It is a game completely meaningless to anyone but its players.
You're a bard, weren't you?
I have revealed too much, it seems, but it doesn't matter what I used to be. It is the past.
But why are we living as a cloistered sister in rural Ferelden?
I found myself in Ferelden and sheltered from bad weather in the Chantry. And when the storm passed, I just did not want to leave. I like to say the Maker brought me here.
Okay.
Here I am.
Care to answer some questions?
Oh, this should be good. Go ahead.
Why did you want to leave the Crows exactly?
Well now, I imagine that's a very fair question. Being an assassin, after all, is a living, at least as far as such things go. I was simply never given the opportunity to choose another way. So, if that choice presents itself, why should I not seize upon it?
You didn't choose to join the Crows?
To be truthful, I didn't even know the Crows existed when I joined them. I was but a boy of 7 when I was purchased. For 3 sovereigns, I'm told. Which is a good price, considering I was all ribs and bone and didn't know the pommel of a dagger from the pointy end. The Crows buy all their assassins that way. Buy them young, raise them to know nothing else but murder. And if you do poorly in your training, you die.
And that system works?
Of course. You compete against your fellow assassins, and those who survive are rightfully proud of it. In Antiva, being a crow gets you respect. It gets you wealth. It gets you women. And men. Or whatever it is you might fancy. But that does not mean doing what is expected of you always. And it means being expendable. It's a cage, if a gilded cage. Pretty, but confining.
So what is it you fancy exactly?
I fancy many things. I fancy things that are beautiful, and things that are strong. I fancy things that are dangerous and exciting. Would you be offended if I said I fancied you?
No, not at all.
This is good to know. As for what I'll do in the future, presuming that there is one, I truly can't imagine. It might be interesting to go into business for myself, for a change. Far away from Antiva, of course. For now, naturally, I go where you go.
Alright. Do you think that will change?
Everything changes, my friend. Come now, enough chit-chat. Talking about the crows summons them, you know. Any Antivan fishwife could tell you so.
Fair enough.
If there's anything I can do for you, please, please tell me.
See your wares.
I'm sure you'll be pleased.
Okay. I hate the fact he says that every time. Like, you're just like, oh god, come on, dude. Another backpack? Yeah, I'll have another one of those. Huh. There are no boots in here, are there? Proper boots, I mean. No. Okay. We've only got this, and I think the only person who has this is Morrigan, I think.
A fine gift. You
Yeah.
have my thanks.
Thought so.
On your order, Grey Warden.
Do you need anything?
The Jarl was generous, but rushed. Certain areas could see improvement. We're a mercenary force, Warden. Much of our equipment is self-financed. Were you to commit additional funds, we'd upgrade as we saw the need. On your order, Grey Warden.
This will be different from guarding the Jarl, you know.
We are aware. But these men and women know what's at stake. They will not fail their homeland.
Good lad.
Yes? So, full of questions, are you?
Tell me, so are you really Flemeth's daughter?
I assume you were actually asking whether Flemeth herself gave birth to me. Truly, I do not know. I once asked Flemeth that very question, and she merely laughed at me. 'Tis not inconceivable that she could capture a chastened man, or perhaps change to a more attractive form to attract him willingly. I find it more difficult to imagine her with child.
She was not always as old as she is now, was she?
As a matter of fact, I remember her being younger once. She had black hair, much like my own, long and lustrous. But how could that be if she is centuries old? Has she become wizened only recently? Or are the tales of her legend only that, and nothing more? I do know the tales of Flemeth having many daughters, even though I have never met another. And Flemeth has always treated me as her blood.
She doesn't seem very motherly.
Must one be a doting and simpering moron to be considered a suitable mother? Flemeth taught me everything I needed to learn. How to survive, the meaning of power, the truth of men. If other mothers do not teach these things, then I believe them the lesser.
Yeah, I suppose it's true. Because we saw Royce's mother was kind of like that as well.
You suppose it's true? 'Tis true. Take yourself. You do not honestly desire such things from me, do you? 'Tis better to be free of such cloying and cluttering delusions as love.
Why limit yourself?
I do not consider it a limitation. Not leaping into a burning building also happens to be an experience best avoided. I tire of this discussion. Let us move on, shall we?
What's going on? Like, are they, like, together or something?
Yes. We're in camp, so 'tis as good a time as any. What's this? 'Tis a rather odd discussion you seem to desire, leaning in so closely.
Humour me, I guess?
Oh, it's humor you desire, I didn't realize comedy had anything to do with this.
Only if we do it wrong.
How true. Let us do it right, then.
It's kind of weird how that just came about. Do you know what I mean? I know the option was there before, but I didn't take it because I was like, Kissing with eyes open.
It's cold in my tent, all alone.
Then get a thicker blanket. Well, we can't have that.
So you shall come to my tent? But whatever shall we do in that tiny little space together while we wait for it to warm?
I'm sure I'll think of something.
Good. Then let us waste no more time with foolish talk.
So now we see the famous, awkward Dragon Age. Two mannequins rubbing against each other. Sort of a thing. Ugh. With their underwear on, of course.
I see the stories they tell of Grey Warden endurance are not exaggerated.
There are stories? Do you really need to talk? There are stories?
Indeed there are. The unanswered question, of course, is whether the endurance exists because of the taint within you, or because the Grey Wardens are by nature so very healthy. I enjoy the thought that 'tis a little of both. Natural prowess, driven by a darker side.
So what now?
That is entirely up to you. Simply know that I have no designs on your independence. I wish only to do what I desire, and if that coincides with what you desire, then so be it. And should you decide not to continue our misadventure, then so be it. Very simple, is it not?
You can't talk about love right now. I can live with that.
Then we should get along marvelously. Come then, let us be off before the others begin to stare.
Right. Let's have a little look here, shall we? Look at Sten! Plus 100, basically Blood Brothers now. It's awesome. Okay. Obviously. Awesome. Neutral. Okay, I think we're doing quite well, you know. Obviously Zev's a bit neutral, but it's fine. Alright. I will see you in the next part, where what we're going to do next time. I think we're going to do the Wizard's Tower next time, so I'll see you then. Have a good one. Inception.